Welcome back to the podcast, guys. We are on number 10, 2.5 months of podcast. Can you believe it?
I can. Feels like a while
Yeah.
dealing with people like you.
Yeah, whatever. What are we talking about today on number 10? Too bad
Well,
I'm not there to slap you.
yeah, right.
What's,
I'm just glad I'm not there to smell you.
yeah, I know. Yeah.
I heard what you just did.
Yep, that was off camera, so that's where it'll stay.
Okay.
What do we got today for the audience?
Well, let's talk about turkeys.
Okay, it's getting that
Turkey
time.
season's coming.
I think I think it's actually open in some states down south.
Really?
Yeah,
Already?
it's either started or it's in the next couple weeks.
Wow.
Down in South Florida, I think it opens
That is
soon.
early. Whew.
Yes.
I have not seen or heard a turkey yet.
On
And
my
I've
last, yep,
I've been out scouting and everything.
yeah, on the last client visit I had in Virginia, we saw, I didn't see any, but we saw tons of scratchings.
Hmm.
Yeah. So,
I
but tons of,
mean,
it's getting that
even with
time.
this weather the way it's been,
Yeah,
we get a 60-degree day and then we get snow a couple days later.
I
Even
know.
on these nice days like this, I can't believe I haven't seen any groups of birds pecking around or anything.
Actually, I did see some a couple days ago on the side, you know, but they weren't strutting or nothing like that, just sitting there
Yeah.
feeding. But um, when season started over there by you?
Oh, gee. You
May
know what?
1st, right?
To be honest, I don't even know.
Well, it's first weekend of May, right?
Usually it's around that.
How do you not know? You live there.
I don't know. I'm
See what I got to
oblivious
deal
this
with?
year.
See what I got to deal
This
with?
this year I'm oblivious.
All right, so let's just say May 1st. In Maryland, where I'm at, I actually know the date, and it's April 18th.
Let's look it up.
Yeah, so April 18th,
Okay.
and I am not hunting Maryland turkeys because I don't have a place to hunt them.
Hunt your own state.
Yep. And then turkey hunting, you can hunt public land on turkeys, but you got to get, as far as I know, you got to have like special like permits and stuff to actually hunt them on public land here. It's weird. Um, Maryland is not known for a turkey state, although there are sections and counties that have good turkey population.
April 22nd.
That's Youth Day, right?
April 22nd, it says,
That's Youth Day. How do I know the dates better than you do? And I don't even live there.
it just says spring gobbler, bearded bird only.
Yeah, that's Youth Day
How do you know?
because I hunt other people's states.
Yeah, you trespass.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Um.
Spring gobbler, bearded
Anyway,
only.
while you're looking there, so we don't bore the audience. I absolutely love turkey hunting, and when Chris goes, he usually falls asleep, so he misses all the action. Um.
I kill him.
Yep. And I remember we were in that blind at the farm,
April
and
29th.
I
Okay.
shot that turkey,
You,
and I
you
was
never shot no turkeys.
I did,
Which
and
one?
when we were in the blind together, remember they came out to our left in the clover plot, and we're gonna talk about clover and all that,
Oh,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
That was a
it
good
was
video, too, by the way.
yes, and they came in, and it was I'm moving my arms like I'm with a gun, but um, it was the first turkey killed on that property, and when I shot it, remember I smacked your shoulder real fast, and I was like I can't breathe. Remember
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
I was all excited.
I don't think it was the first bird, was it?
That was the first bird on that property.
Was it?
Yep,
Are you sure?
positive. Cause remember the first year there was like a deserted island. There was nothing. We hunted
Yeah, right.
the first year. Then the second year we
I
had the
got a horrible memory.
Yeah, I know you do. We had the
Well, then
clover.
that would have been your first PA bearded bird then.
Yes, it was.
That was that hunt.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. It's coming back to me.
Okay. So, but the first year there was no food there, so there was no turkeys.
Well, yeah, when we took it over, it was junk.
Yeah. Second year, a lot of stuff changed. We had a lot going on, and we we actually had food there.
Mhm.
But I want to talk about the crop on the turkey. Sits right there where the food kind of sits there.
Mhm.
And I had a video where the title of it was like dead dead deer do tell a story, because you can kind of track that history of that buck from what I've noticed, and then other bucks will kind of do what he did. Well, I have a saying on turkeys where dead turkeys tell a story, because when you
They
kill it,
can't talk when they're dead, Dave.
they do. So when you cut the crop open,
What they say?
it's packed in there, packed full of what they've been eating. So if you have a piece of property and it's, say you cut the crop open and it's full of dandelions, well, it's a good indication of where they've been, on your property,
Yeah.
or maybe it could be the neighbor's property or whatever, but
Mhm.
it just gives you that indication of what's going on.
The one video that we did after, I think I think we doubled up that day, I'm thinking,
We did.
and we sliced open the crop of the one Jake that I shot.
Mhm.
'Cause he wasn't fully mature. It was like 5.5 inches or something.
Mhm.
But um, remember the day when you cut your finger?
Yeah, it's
That was
still
funny.
it's still there. I don't know if you can see that, but it's sliced and the tip of my finger is still numb.
The guy's a hazard.
Yeah.
But we cut that thing open, not his finger, the crop I'm talking. And
Mhm.
yeah, they we were sitting on the clover field
Mhm.
with winter wheat,
Mhm.
and guess what we found? Wasn't either of those. Remember, it was all the dandelion leaves, all
Yes.
the greens from the
Yep.
dandelion
Yep.
was packed full, and there wasn't even a bug or a worm or anything.
Yep.
It was just green.
Clover clover leaves.
It was just all green.
Packed. I mean, you couldn't fit another clover leaf in that thing.
Oh, there was greens from the dandelion too.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
We have a video. We pulled it
yeah,
out.
you can see it.
Yeah, but it's just very cool.
I mean, it was big as your fist
Yeah.
and big bulge in there. I mean,
Yep.
and
Oh yeah.
they hide that well.
They do. You don't really see it when
No,
when they're out there strutting or whatever, or
right.
feeding. But clover plots are good, because any kind of green in that time of year, because what happens is, usually when the season's starting, the greens are coming up, and the turkeys will go in there because you have the dew on the plants, and then the sun comes out, hits it, starts baking the dew off, the moisture, so you get the dew, and then when you have that dew in the sun, you get the bugs. So turkeys tend to flock to those situations because of the
I see
bugs.
what you did there, flock.
Yes, they. I'm gonna kill you.
Is it Mountain Dew, Code
Yeah,
Red? What is
Mountain Dew.
it?
Um,
He said flock.
yeah, we're talking about turkeys.
Yeah, good one,
Um,
good one.
so they go to that area because not only do they have the greens, but they also got the bugs.
Yeah, for sure. And that's another reason why when we talk about establishing clover plots,
Hmm.
like to do it in the fall, because
Yeah,
early the next spring, that's one of the first things that greens up
yeah.
and is fully ready for turkeys
Hmm.
when they come in season there. Between that and rye and wheat, very green, very nutritious, very tender at that point,
Yeah.
and they will flock to the field
Yep.
to get it.
Now, yes, and you do the clover in the fall, like you said, it has time to at least establish the roots and get a couple inches tall, and then it
Yeah.
comes up in the springtime. And for example, we had the clover on the, if you're looking at where the way we were hunting clover on the left, winter wheat kind of in the far mid or the middle and the right.
Hmm.
Those turkeys were not in the wheat and rye field. They were in the clover field.
Yeah.
They were in that clover field every single day. I mean, I had trail cam. I mean, they were just in there.
Yeah.
And then I think it was a different year though, but when we doubled up, and remember that because I distinctly remember saying we will shoot on three, and I went one, two, and then all of a sudden you shot,
You stuttered and I shot.
and it
You,
screwed the
sh-
whole deal up, and I
you
ended
didn't
up
even say
missing.
three.
I missed.
You didn't even say three. You said one, two, and then you choked on your words. So I shot.
No, yeah,
I just,
yeah. It was 1-2 boom.
yeah, I had
Um,
a bird flopping. What
I think
happened?
I unloaded the entire shells in my gun, and funny, we thought we missed. And I remember we went over the hill a little bit, and that's where it was.
Yeah,
So one of us actually hit the second bird. Um, yeah.
I liked hunting out of that blind
Mhm.
because, and actually, I've never hunted out of a turkey blind
Mhm.
until we hunted that property and started using that blind there.
Mhm.
I kind of did like it because I have a hard time sitting still unless I'm sleeping, you know. And I
Well,
did a little sleeping.
you did.
Turkey
It
season's for sleeping.
Yeah, I like the run and gun style.
Mm,
I do like that.
that's all I
I
got here.
Yeah, I used the blind there because we were trying to, there's only so much property you can hunt, and if you have a smaller piece, the run and gun thing doesn't really make sense. Now, if you're
Well,
hunting,
and there was two of us, and we were filming, and
right,
you
it just
don't want to
makes it a
be
little
moving around too
right.
much, but it worked out really nice. We were able
Yeah.
to, film each other's birds being shot at different points in time, and
Mhm.
had second and third camera angles.
Yeah.
Um, and whatever for whatever reason, I couldn't get my GoPro to the remote. That
Yeah.
that property was weird.
It was. It was
Every
spooky.
time we had some remote,
Yep.
something would go wrong with it. I don't know
Which
why. There was interference there or something.
Wherever it was coming from, I don't know because there was nothing around
I
there,
don't know, but
but it
I
would.
could not get a remote to work there for that
Yeah.
GoPro.
I had
And
mine working
that would
because
have
I
been a sweet video, man, if I
yeah.
could have got that thing rolling.
Mhm.
Shh.
Yeah, I remember everything was working fine when we left camp there in the morning, and
Yeah.
then we get there, and every time I always had problems with the remote, and it
Yeah.
was only like 20 feet away.
Yeah, it wasn't even far. I don't know, man. There was just something there.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
right. Well,
But that
yeah.
was fun time though. I mean, but getting back to the crop thing, yeah, it does tell a story. I mean,
Mhm.
I I was I would have bet you that there was bugs or gravel or something in that crop.
Yeah. Well, that one did
Nothing.
not. Yeah,
That one
just
did not.
pure green.
All green.
Yeah, no grubs, no worms, no insects, nothing.
Nothing.
Yep.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It was
Now,
weird.
when I used to hunt up in near Albany, New York, they would cut them open there, and it was very little green and all like bugs.
Hmm.
So it was kind of a different, but they didn't have, food plots up there or nothing like that. We actually had the food plot, so if it's there, then that's what
Yeah.
they're going to eat.
Well, I usually hunt like the deeper woods for the
Right.
turkeys, and when
There's
I
no
would open those ones up, they would be full of tree buds.
mm,
You know,
mhm.
the fresh buds. Those and a lot of like little worms, like
Yeah.
those little centipedes or whatever, stuff
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah.
Because in those deep woods is just not a whole lot
Right.
to choose from.
Mhm. Well, there
But
was
yeah,
there was a lot of fields where we were at the old farm there. There are a
yeah,
lot of fields had a lot of dandelions and different types of greens and stuff
hmm,
that they would forage on there.
for sure.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
good stuff. I want to jump into you said we kind of get topics from what's kind of going on in the social media world,
Hmm.
and you had a topic that you wanted to discuss, and
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot about guys with talking about screening already.
yeah.
Um, I mean, it's good to have a plan for your screening, but
Yeah.
obviously, screening is for a later point in time.
Hmm.
It loves the heat. You're talking Egyptian wheat and sorghums and things like that. I've seen a lot of people that want to try that miscanthus
Hmm.
plantings now, that type of thing.
Hmm.
There's still guys out there, and I do not know why they want to plant corn for a
Hmm.
screen.
Hmm.
Um, I think we've talked about it before and said that that is a very bad idea because you're trying to be stealthy and get in, entrance into some place behind your screening. And if you're planting food as your screen, the deer are going to be there waiting on you, and you're just going to run into them and push them off.
Spook them out,
You're going to spook them out. So
like you,
that's not a good idea.
spooky.
Spooky.
Yeah, I love screening. I grow screening every year unless you're on a farm and you plant screening and the farmer actually kills it, so therefore you have no screening,
Yeah.
like I did last year.
Right.
But man, screening's awesome. We use Incognito from Domain Outdoors, and it's good stuff. But really, I mean, no matter what you're using, it's all about the fertilization of the soil to really get you the strong thick stalks. And I want to talk about that too because I have a tip on there that I've figured out and learned over the years. But are you planting any screening this year?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I usually put a couple rows of that in, keep the eyeballs off my field from the road frontage,
Mm-hmm.
that type of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But one thing I wanted to mention about the screening is, like you had mentioned, the fertilization. Try to incorporate your fertilization into your dirt at the time of planting. And a lot of guys don't realize, but P and K
Mm-hmm.
doesn't move very far in the soil. So basically, wherever you're putting it, that's usually where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't leach very far. So it's a good thing to get your NP and K a couple inches down where your root zone's going to be, and where your seed's going to be able to use that to the best.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know there's a lot of people that will uh, what's the word I want to use? Top dress it later on, but usually when we're talking about top dressing, it is usually for some nitrogen value,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But yeah, it get some in there at planting. It definitely needs it,
Yeah.
you know. And then you can top dress some later if you'd like. You know, I know you like to come through with what, triple 19 sometimes, and
Yeah, I'll talk about that real quick. But this is the incognito that we use.
Mhm.
That's incognito. It's got the Egyptian wheat, grain sorghum, and sorghum Sudan grass. So that's what we're gonna be doing. My strategy with and growing it is I use it for access, screening food plots, whatever that may be on somebody's case. But I'll come in there, and if it's heavily weeded or whatever, I'm waiting until warm weather. I'm spraying it, killing it, and then disking the ground, and I'm seeding incognito. Couple tips with it is no matter what you're using, it's typically about if you're using an Egyptian wheat blend, it's typically about 11 pounds per acre. A major fail with that is people using too much seed on that because it'll shunt each other. And when it shunts itself, you lose the height, but then you also lose the thickness and strength of the stalks.
I'm guilty. I've done it before.
Yes, you have. We all have. But with that, the key to it is people hear the word nitrogen because it acts as it's like corn is where they just keep feeding it nitrogen. It's a major mistake because what happens is nitrogen gives it the ability to grow very tall.
Mm.
The taller that it is, the more tendency it is going to have to fall over because it's super tall. You're better off waiting a little bit longer into the year before you plant so it has a shorter growing period because it matures right around 120 days. If you're going into the winter time and the fall and it had time to grow seed heads, that top is now heavy.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's better to plant a little bit later as long as you're getting rain.
Hmm.
The other mistake is people throw nitrogen at it. They come in 30 days later, they hit it with nitrogen again, and it just keeps growing and growing, makes very tall. The
Right.
mistake with that is you need to be adding potassium.
Yes.
Potassium gives the stalk the ability to grow very strong and thicker.
Hmm.
So everything needs a balance. If you're just adding the nitrogen, it's going to grow very tall, but it's going to have weak stalks. I've seen it from people sending me pictures, and I ask them what they do, and that's what's happening. If you add the triple 19 to it, it makes it very strong. So I'll fertilize at planting. I'll come back in 30, 45 days later. I'll hit it with about 75 pounds per acre of triple 19 when the leaves are dry before rain. And that's usually all you have to do. And I've never had a problem with it. It grows strong. It's semi tall, 10 feet is all you need. And it works very well that way. So
Yeah.
avoid that
Well,
mistake and use the triple 19 and not nitrogen alone.
since I'm not over 6 feet tall, I just need 6 foot tall,
What are you now? Like 4 foot 9?
4'9.5", something like that.
4'9.5". Alright.
And they say I lie when I go to the doctors and they put me on the scale.
Yeah,
They're like, "Why you lie about your height?" I'm like, "What do you mean? I'm 5'5"
yeah.
and a half."
Short and stubby.
Yeah, all muscle, all
How
muscle.
Oh god, here we go.
Hey, before we get off of that subject, have you ever heard this analogy, like for NP and K? Like they say, like the nitrogen is for the growth above ground, and the P is for the roots below the ground, and the K does all the rest.
Mhm,
It gives it the strength and
yeah,
the the str- uh
mhm,
yeah,
yeah,
I can't
it
think.
all yeah, so, like, when you use more of one thing compared to the other, it can throw things off, and that's why you always kinda need a balance of fertility levels and not just, like, one thing.
I thought that was a neat explanation somebody
Yeah,
made one time. It made sense.
yeah,
You
no,
get the nitrogen feeds everything above ground, and the
mhm,
P is for below, and then the K just gives everything strength and thickness and
mhm. Well,
the ability to stand strong.
yeah, and if somebody wants to check it out, they can go to my website, whitetailobsessionoutdoors.com, and you scroll down. There's a drone video of of the tunnels and stuff we made with Egyptian wheat,
Mm,
and it's very cool. You can do a lot of things with it, and it is a annual, so it is a 1 year situation, and if you get heavy snow, it is going to fall down. Um, but by that time, typically hunting season's over. So
yeah.
what do you need to screen for anymore? Besides that, people can use it as an annual, use it what it is, and you can change things up. If you do something 1 year, it didn't really work, or you needed it, got to move your stand, you want to screen at a different spot, you just plant it 50 or 100 yards over, and you don't have to worry about it.
Well, that's what's nice about it is you could change it up. You can make different designs. You can angle it. You can make deer come to you
Hmm.
using it. Um,
Yeah.
Whereas I've seen there's another Facebook thing happening. People were saying, "Oh, I'm going to plant some small pine trees and this and that, to screen this off." That's permanent.
Well, not only that, how long you plan on
Yeah,
waiting?
yeah.
You
You
can use
better
it in conjunction with an
right,
annual,
right.
but yeah, I mean, who really has time? I'd
Right,
like,
yeah, it's an instant gratification world, man,
yeah. Well,
and
not
this
only,
stuff comes up, in a couple of months, and
yeah,
you've got screening.
yeah, and most people are leasing land, and if you own it, then yeah, it'd be a different situation. You could plant some trees
Yeah,
and stuff, whatever it is, and eventually, and whatever it is, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, you'll have a good screen.
mhm.
Um, but lease stuff, I mean, it's a cheap, it's a cheap fix for what you need it to do.
Yeah, and I like that choice to be able to do different
Change it.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I do something different every year. Like
Hmm.
I got a
Why
little
not?
bit yeah, I got a little bit of an idea for this year too. I just
If you can remember what the idea is.
yeah, I forgot it already, but
I know.
that's
What a what a shame.
that's what happens when you get old.
You're not even that old.
Ancient.
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 Ugh,
I got my bear shirt on.
bear shirt.
It's a bear shirt. Arkansas
Okay.
Black Bear Association, which I don't even think that's even uh, a thing anymore.
I got my
This
shirt
was
on.
this was if anybody follows Bear Hunting Magazine, Clay Newcomb started the magazine, and now he is the sole owner and editor of Bear Hunter Magazine.
Well, why don't you talk about the phone call you got over the weekend?
Oh yeah, well,
Let's talk.
I didn't answer the first one because I seen it was you.
Yeah, I know. That's what let's talk about Steve. That's what Steve said. He's like,
Steve,
dude, he didn't answer you.
I seen it was you, and I was loading
Yeah.
firewood. I was like,
Let's
yeah, I'll get that later.
let's talk about Steve.
Either that or he butt dialed me.
Let's talk about Steve.
Steve's excited.
He is.
So Dave's in Virginia on a client consult, and phone rings, and of course I ignored it the first time, and then the second time they called back,
Mhm.
I thought, well, I better, it must be something important. He must not have just butt dialed the first time. I'll get it. So it's Dave, and he says, hey, got a client here, wants to talk to you about bears. Well, I like to hunt bears just as much as deer, and I've been fortunate enough to get 3 PA bears, and it to me is exciting. It don't excite everybody, but to me, I like bear hunting. So Steve's question to me was, he wanted to know how he could distinguish a bear sign from deer sign as far as like trails and things.
Yeah.
And
So
so
so Steve asked me, and I told him straight. I was like, Steve, I'm not a bear hunter. Let's call Chris. He's familiar with bear hunting. Let's call him.
yeah, so I we just had a conversation about it, and I explained to him that bear trails are usually like rolled down flat and smooth and trampled, and the deer, their little hooves are they've got it all notched up, mudded up like a cow path, where the
Hmm.
deer or the bear, excuse me, the bear kind of just smooth, like really don't even get tracks from a bear unless it's in mud, or in snow, because they just I can't explain it. They are so stealthy for such big animals.
Hmm.
Uh,
You don't even hear him coming.
no, very rarely will you ever hear a bear. And I'm trying to think. Um, I out of the three, I don't think I heard any of the three coming at all.
Yeah, those
I,
three were all public land, right?
yeah, all
Yeah.
public land, state land actually. Yep.
Cool.
One with a vertical bow, one with a crossbow, and one with a rifle. So I've got the gamut going. And believe it or not, my dream, I would love to go to Maine and shoot one over a bait. I don't know why. I
Hmm.
would love to go use my slug gun though. I think that would be a blast,
Yeah.
literally. Just to hammer one with a 12 gauge slug,
Yeah.
And I can't bait here in PA, so I think it would be fun to do over bait for once.
I
The
shot.
only downfall is up there, their average bear is like 200 pounds.
Yeah. I shot one bear, and that was in Nova Scotia with my bow, and I never ever want to go bear hunting again. So
No, you were one and done.
one and done.
It was a
I
cool.
don't.
That ended up being a cool video though.
It was. It turned out to be a good video. I have zero interest in bear hunting.
I like it,
Steve
man. I like it.
Steve has some giant bears on his property in
I
Virginia.
seen some of them pictures. They are
They were
whoppers.
big. He wants to shoot one. So that's why he
I
was
don't blame them.
asking, and we called, and Steve's got a lot of work to do on his property, but he's already been texting me, and he's got some updates, and one of that updates was to get a forester out. He's got a meeting there, I think March 16th now. So he's going to meet the forester, and then he's going to call me back and let me know what they say. And in the meantime, he was able to gather up a skid steer, a
Mm.
mulcher,
Oh
and a
wow.
bucket, and all that's being delivered on the 16th as well. And I will be going back at some point, and we're going to do an update video on his progress and all that.
He's
Um,
keyed up. He's
he
keyed up.
is. He's
He's gonna
pumped.
kill a bear.
Yep, he's going to kill a bear. He's going to kill his first buck, and on the property, and he's excited.
He's new to hunting. He said, right?
Well, he's a major bird hunter.
Okay,
Bird hunting, I think, his whole life. Duck.
but like big game, he's not.
He's been
He's
deer
pretty
hunting, I
new to.
think, deer hunting for 3 years.
Yeah,
He shot a piebald doe on that new piece that he bought.
nice.
Um, and then he's never shot a bear, but he wants to do bear. But it's 150 acres. It's a family. He's got a wife, two couple sons, I believe, and they want to have some guests there over time and have a nice place. I think on that 150 acres, I laid out as of now 15 tree stands.
Hmm,
I think 4 or 5 box blinds, and then the rest are ladder stands and some hang-ons. So there's plenty of stands, around the property for, you know, guests and stuff to hunt on. And the property is very isolated with easy access. He's got roads to access, and he actually has a easement through a farmer through a
hmm,
farmer's property where he literally drives up the farmer's driveway.
hmm.
He has permission to open the gate up, and then he walks through the cow, the pasture, down this old fence line to get back to the back side of his property, which has another gate which he can open up and then get to the back side of his property with access through a actual creek.
Huh,
So he's got like perfect um, access to the property.
nice.
Speaking of that, with dealing with clients and being available to answer the questions and all of that stuff, I have a rant to go on
Oh boy,
about customer service in the
what's your
outdoor
rant?
industry. You want to hear this rant?
Yeah, I do. Let me in
Okay.
on it.
I don't like doing this, but I am super annoyed. And it's it's just customer service in the outdoor industry, which has become very poor. And it continues to get worse and worse and worse. Now there are some companies out there that are good. They answer your phone calls. They help you. I understand. They're busy. They're probably short staffed because nobody wants to work and they don't have the budget to hire people and blah 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 blah. But if you have a business, um, it's your duty to answer the phone, respond to emails on a timely manner, right?
Yeah, you tell him.
Yes. So 2 years ago, I bought a electric bike,
Hmm.
and I paid almost $3,000 for this electric bike. Okay. The bike came with a 1 year warranty. Okay. Actually, I think the battery, sorry, had a 1 year warranty, and the bike maybe two. I can't remember. So you saw it. You rode the bike.
Yeah,
Everything was fine and dandy.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yes. When I had 150 miles, which is not a lot, really.
That doesn't sound like a lot.
No, the battery started acting goofy. And this was probably around the 8 month mark. Okay. And before previous to this, I could drive maybe 15 to 20 miles on this thing and the battery would be starting to die. Um, it got to a point where it was dying after like 2 or 3 miles,
Oh my.
right? So I called the company, nothing, no answer, no response.
Hate that.
I would leave voicemails. Then I went on their Facebook. I sent them messages. I found their email on Facebook. I was emailing them. I even went to the website and it had a customer support like form that you fill
Like
out.
contact form.
Yep,
Yeah.
and it would actually give you a reference number or some kind of number, I guess, keep track of. I emailed that thing 3 to 4 times, zero response. Okay, call, 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day, and during the week, multiple times a day,
Mm.
zero response. Okay, now all of a sudden, we're I mean, this went on for months, no response. And I think I did get a hold of somebody on Instagram. I messaged them on Instagram, which why do you have to do that? Why do you have to chase the
Yeah.
like what like how it's not professional for me to have to go on freaking Instagram and message world or what a company
Right.
to get a response. Somebody responded, "Oh, you need to call the number or I'll look into it or something." No response. At this point, we're at the year mark, right? And my warranty's out. I call or no, sorry, they actually called me, right? I answered the phone and it was this lady. What's the issue? I told her the issue. I've been trying to call you freaking people for 3 to 4 months. My battery's got an issue. Nobody's responding. She's like, "Oh, well, I got to get with the guys and, we'll get back to you." Nobody ever got back to me. It A week goes by. Nobody ever got back to me. Finally, I call one day and somebody picks right up. He explains to me that I am now out of my warranty
Oh,
and there's nothing they can do about my battery,
oh boy.
right? Dude, I went off on this guy and I was like, this is ridiculous. I've been calling you guys for the past 4 months. I filled out your forms. I even spoke to a lady a week ago. Nobody called me back and all this other stuff. So literally nothing he could do. I asked for the manager, this and this and this. They wouldn't do a thing, right? So I ended up sending another email, right? And this guy wrote back and says, "Hi, sir. We're sorry for the inconvenience. We can offer you a 17% discount on a new battery. The battery costs $1,100,
Oh my.
right? And he wanted to give me a 17% discount on on $1,000 battery when I already paid almost 3,000 for the bike, and the bike has 150 miles on it. It's a joke."
Mm.
Um, so I sent them another email. I was like, I will never buy another thing from you if somebody gave me the money to freaking buy it. Um, and this company is Quiet Cat Bikes,
Ooh.
and I'm super disappointed in that. Um, all you see is Quiet Cat this, Quiet Cat that, and I don't know if it was just me with a bad a bad experience, but
Wow.
to go 4 months and have the company not answer your phone call or not an email, and then all of a sudden you're past your warranty period and they want to get back to you and say there's nothing they can do.
That's
I got
horrible.
To me, I got like scammed out of my warranty period,
Yeah.
and then all
Like
of a
a
sudden,
like a car
yeah, right,
extended warranty on a car.
yeah, yeah,
Basically, that's what
I'm
they do.
s- I'm so annoyed. So now I have a $3,000 Quiet Cat bike that's sitting, and I can drive it two
Y-
miles, and the battery's dead. And in order to get it working properly, I have to spend $1,000 for a battery.
That's crazy. 17% is probably that's probably even less than their markup.
Yeah, yeah,
I can't see a battery costing a thousand
yep.
bucks.
And to make it interesting, I actually emailed the company again, right? Or actually no, sorry. I went on their website about a month ago and um, I was looking at batteries because I was at a point of what do I do? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like I got a bike that's useless, and what do I do? So I looked at the batteries, and about a day later, I got an email from customer service. It says, "Hi, Mr. Richmond. I noticed you have a battery that's in the cart on the website. Would you like to complete your purchase?" Right? I replied back to it. I said, "Sir," I gave him the whole story. I was like, I was just looking at him. I said, "I'm not, I'm not buying them." Told him the whole scenario. He said he pulled up my history with Quiet Cat bikes and the emails that I went through. He
Hmm.
found them, right?
Oh wow.
It said, "Sir, I'm very sorry for the inconvenience. We hired more customer service people." Um, he's like, "I will be your personal point of contact from here on out, and I'm here today to offer you a 20% discount on a battery." I wrote him back. I said, "Dude, you are freaking high as a kite."
Woo!
Yeah,
He gave you another 3% off. You should be
he
grateful.
yeah, and it was something like that. It could have been like 21 or 22%, but still, I mean, dude, I mean, 150 miles on the bike, and
My
the battery's
gosh.
busted, and I got screwed out of,
That's
you
still
know,
$800 battery.
yeah, I got screwed out of the warranty because they couldn't answer the phone. To me, I mean, that should be criminal, man. Like to take somebody's money, like I should be like, uh, what's the word? Grandfathered in or something for a battery.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if that's the right word for it or not, but
That's nuts, man. Even
yeah,
50% off, that's still a $500 battery.
I know,
That's a
I know.
lot.
I'm upset, man. What do you do if somebody's, listen? I mean, what do you do? How do you sell the bike without ripping somebody off saying it's a good bike? You know what I mean? You're stuck with a $3,000 bike that you can't ride.
Well, I just wonder how many other people like have this bike and the batteries are junk and you're stuck with is it even a pedal bike? I mean, can you even pedal it and
It is, but
switch gears and things? And
you can do all that. You can still pedal, but it's a 100-pound bike. So when
yeah,
you're
it's a
pedaling it,
100 pounds.
it's like a tank. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly. Got them fat
Um,
tires.
yeah. So like, I'm not saying Quiet Cat is a bad company. Maybe it's a bad experience that I had. I don't know if other people have that experience, but it's just like that's messed up, man. Like to
Yeah,
go 4 months and not answer somebody's phone call, and then all of a sudden email them after your warranty's over and say, you know what I
nothing
mean?
we can do.
Yeah, nothing we can do.
We'll knock off our markup. We'll sell it to you at cost.
Yep.
That type of thing.
Yeah.
No good.
So, yeah, no good.
You done ranting?
I'm done.
Take us out of here.
Yeah, I am. I got phone calls coming in for consulting. So thanks for listening, guys. Through the rant and the turkeys and the clover, and if you guys appreciate it listening and give it a watch on Chris's channel, and man, I guess we'll see you on podcast number 11.
We'll be on 11.
Man, crazy. Almost 3 months of podcasts.
Woo-wee. Yep.
All right.
Hope everybody's enjoying them.
Yeah.
Hey, you could always drop us a comment or something and give us some ideas of what you'd want to hear about.